name is Melanie Williams, and I work for Diener with the Division of Water Resources. And we have recently started kind of working with ArcGIS Online and trying to figure out how to get some of our maps done in a more web-friendly way instead of just printing them out on pieces of paper. You can't really glean a whole lot of data from that. We have a lot of data to share. We don't really know how to share it with people. So once we kind of started playing around with ArcGIS Online, we kind of started with the basic question of what do people call us about and have information requests for the most. So that kind of led us to our the first map or application that we really kind of made, which was our surface water classification map. We have lots of folks that need to fill out permits and fill out grant applications and that sort of thing, and they all need to know what classification their stream body is in, or holds. So this is like the basic of basic applications that we could build. One thing that we struggled with when we first started playing around with it is, this map includes all the streams of the state. So that's like 12,000 lines. It's kind of slow when you're working with a shapefile and trying to load 12,000 streamlines. So we started playing around with tiling the layers and found out very quickly that you can attach the data that goes behind the tiles to the lines. So that has worked out really, really well, so that as soon as you start to zoom in, streams come right up. It's very fast. And they're still able to click on streams and get the classification and other simple stream data that goes along with it. Some of the other things that we've started to build into this map as we've been working with it, if you see in the top corner over there, there's a question mark and a little magnifying glass. The magnifying glass actually allows you to search the data itself instead of just having the geocoder on the other side. So folks can still enter in their stream name or what we use internally, which is our index number, and it moves you straight into the stream and allows you to get that information a little bit faster. So another one that we were able to produce pretty quickly was something that we call Find Your Hub, which is a hydrologic unit code. This is another piece of information that folks need to know when filling out permit applications and grant applications. So at any point they can just enter in their street address or their business address at the top, or they can zoom into their location and click on it. We have layers that come and go as you zoom in and you zoom out, so that it's not just cluttered lines. And you can, of course, click on those polygons at any point in time and get the information behind it. Another one that we've been experimenting with is our impaired water streams map. So this one is a little bit like the classifications map. The difference with this one is that there is a lot of data behind these lines. So one line could hold anywhere from one record of data to about 50 records of data. So one thing that we've kind of been debating about is if our users are going to actually see the little arrows in the pop-up boxes. So that's been a concern, but so far it seems like everybody's been able to get through that hurdle when they see the arrow and flip through the pop-ups to get all the information that's behind it. So once we kind of figured out how to do that, we kind of started expanding this into our monitoring maps. But so this one in particular is, I think, the ratings. So again, even though they're points, it still seemed to draw pretty slow. So we went ahead and tiled this layer as well, and we tiled it based off of all of these stations' most recent rating. So you can click on any of these points, and you can flip through the pop-up windows or the cards to see all of the ratings that it's ever received since it's been since we started sampling at that station. So that was kind of, we kind of got the basic show down. Now we wanted to start exploring a little bit more. And with the web app builder template, they have nice little widgets that go along with that. And one of those is the chart widget that you see down at the bottom. So you can kind of query the data a little bit better. In this particular instance, this is just a basic query of showing you all of the different ratings in between that time period, which I think it says 1984 to 2014. So not only do you see them visually on the map, but you also see them in a bar chart as well. I believe they also have bar charts and things like that. So then the other widget that we started playing around with was just the query widget, which allows you to pre-set up queries that folks can then kind of select some attributes, and once they've been selected, they'll kind of highlight in little blue circles on the screen, so you can see if you're looking for a particular basin or if you want to see all fair ratings, they'll show up there for you. And this is just another one of the monitoring applications. This is our ambient monitoring data, and it's just symbolized by who's monitoring the actual station itself. With this one, again, it's a little bit more information. Our ambient data samples for all of our physical and chemical data. So we were able to put summary data behind these points so that folks aren't getting raw data. But if this was a live map, you could scroll down to the bottom and click to either store it or some of our actual analysis of the data. And they're just little links that you can include into our attributes tool. So this application is something that I've just kind of been exploring with that I really like. That this is actually an internal application that we've been using, and it is the operations dashboard. So we have river basin planners that analyze all of the data that's been collected across the state, and then they have to write these giant reports that kind of tell you about that data. So to kind of summarize all of that data, it takes a lot of time to go through it all and crunch it through, JUMP or some other kind of statistical software. However, this kind of does some of the basic analysis for you, like finding out where, okay, so you can set up some queries for, especially like a lot of my basin planners that don't really know GIS, and it takes them a while to get through some of this. I can set up these queries for them, and they can just breeze through a lot of their analysis. So for this particular instance, the query is set up for, I believe, all of the benthic monitoring between a certain time period. So then once they click on that query, the pie chart then shows them all of the monitoring results from that time period for those benthic stations. So then they can use that pie chart in their documents or what have you, but they can also click on those pie charts. And what will result in the map is that it will highlight all of the stations that are associated with that piece of the pie. So it's kind of interesting to see, okay, well, these are the areas in my basin that are receiving fair ratings. And then down at the bottom is basically the same thing, but in a bar chart for the whole state. So then they can compare how their basin is to the whole state. So I think there's a lot more that you can do with that operations dashboard, but this is as far as we've gotten so far. Okay, so another internal use or project that we've got going on is our data correction project. So we don't have a GIS shop within the Fish and Water Resources, so we're kind of fending for ourselves, so to speak. And we don't have a whole lot of people that are, experts at GIS, so we kind of depend on very few of us to do these projects. So that means a lot of our large projects get pushed off to the back burner, like data collection. So by using ArcGIS Online, we are actually able to expand the amount of folks that can work on this project at the same time. So this particular project is just correcting the latitude and longitudes for permits across the state. So it's very simple. You click on a point, you drag it to the proper location, you use the measuring tool to grab your latitude and longitude, and then correct it in the pop-up window that then automatically corrects it in that measuring table. And then we can upload that into our database. If we had an ARC server, that part would be a little bit more smooth. But, so anyone can do this. So this now allows us to go from 1 or 2 people doing this project for, I don't even know how many clients we have a ton, to allowing people in 7 different regional offices, as well as the central office, to be able to work on this one project at the exact same time. So in about a month, we'll be implementing this project, and we expect it to be done within another month. So folks can do all of this with about 5 minutes training, and this will allow us to have a lot more accurate data as we move forward. Okay, so if anybody's worked with ArcGIS Online, this is not proper ArcGIS Online, but it kind of shows you the basic understanding of what we have moved to. So before we had ArcGIS Online, we were doing Google Fusion tables. You guys worked with those, they're a nightmare. But so this is what this project was originally built with the Fusion tables. But it was for a spill response that had to work very quickly to collect data, put it on a map, and show it to decision makers across the state to figure out what to do next and how this is impacting water downstream. So what was done was our stream monitors, they took samples and locations across the state. They were able to upload them to our database, and then we were able to plot all this onto a map. And they also were able to take pictures that we could load into attribute tables and attach them to these points. So it took a little bit longer. If we were able to, if this happened now, and now having ArcGIS Online and having the collector app, this process would have taken a lot shorter time. We wouldn't have been able to just have the samplers go out into the field, use their tablets, collect the data. It gets automatically uploaded onto the map itself as well as the pictures. And then they would have been able to have that information instantly in the offices of the decision makers that were trying to figure out, do we need more sampling? What do we need to be doing downstream? And that kind of thing. So we have set up a process for in case that ever happens again. Now we have a much faster way of dealing with the problem. Another application that we're using is we're just embedding simple basic maps into our web pages for our river basins. And again, these are just embedded maps, and they're still clickable. You still get information from them. And this is just another example of wanting to show more simplistic information on maps, but then also allowing, you see the links on the pop-up windows that say more information, allows the users to then go get more information if they need it.